Hey, welcome back once again, Rolf.
Oh, yeah, that's much better. Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, so good morning, Rolf.
Good morning,
Good
Rolf.
morning.
Yeah, I don't know what's the time there, whether it's okay
Oh,
to...
it's 8:30 at night, but it's what, 6 in the morning there, Indian Standard Time?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
6 a.m. now.
Early.
Okay, so we welcome you to our channel TechnoSaviour, and it's really a pleasure to have you here in our channel today. It's going to be a great news for our viewers and to listen from directly from the person who is from ZenCash itself.
Sure. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. Well, are your viewers very technical? What, are they crypto viewers? What do they like to hear?
Yeah, they are basically miners and they are of crypto lovers. So,
okay.
yeah, so we have anyways uploaded a lot of ZenCash videos also in our channel. So yes, they are interested in ZenCash as well. So it would be great for them to hear from you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah, I'm at my very first mining location. Well, my first location was at my house, but I have about 20 miners here. I have many more in other places.
I have seen your initial videos, you explain in that board, and it is really nice to see that board drawings and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I would like to congratulate you, because in 2018 you have made a lot of announcements, introduction of SuperNodes and the ZenCash nodes are increasing exponentially, and it seems that you have released a new white paper. So that's a great news. Most of them are not able to complete their single white paper, and you are expanding your white paper.
Yeah, and I can give a big picture overview of ZenCash, but if you've done lots of videos for your viewers, I can go into detail as well, or I can do both. I have some time. How much time were you planning to talk?
Yeah, we are planning for 1 hour.
No problem. Okay, great. Well, yeah, let's get started. You want me to do an overview, an intro?
Yeah, that's what we would like to tell our viewers, what exactly you do in ZenCash and how you landed up into ZenCash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So we launched ZenCash just about a year ago in May of 2017.
Okay.
And I had met Rob Biglione and through Z Classic. And we joined Z Classic, which was a fork of Zcash, because we recognized that Zcash had outstanding technology for privacy and could see kind of in the future that was going to be really important. And Z Classic gave us the ability to be part of that. However, we wanted to make some more changes and some more improvements. And in order to do that, we had to create our own version of Zcash. So we got together and did a chain split. And last year around May, chain splits were kind of new. Everybody knows what a chain split is now with all the Bitcoin Diamond and Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash and things like that. But then it was pretty tricky. But it gave us an instant community, it gave us great technology, and it gave us the ability to decide what we wanted to do with the future of the cryptocurrency. And we wrote a white paper then, and you're right, we have another one released recently that I'm happy to talk about. And we've basically been executing and putting forth everything that we said we were going to do in the white paper. We've been doing that over the last year. It takes a while to develop software projects. But I think we're making pretty good progress.
Yeah, great. I have been following your videos. Your weekly updates are very helpful. I don't think there is any other team that gives this frequent updates, and your team is looks like more transparent because you have the Trello updates and all. I kind of follow your team a lot.
Yeah.
So,
we have a good sized team, and you're right. We do the bi-weekly updates. We're going to try to work more video into those instead of just slides and audio. I think people definitely like video. Y'all see that with the video channel that you have.
Today also we got 2 notifications from your channel in YouTube about some updates and all.
Yeah, those, and we definitely have a lot of updates coming because we've been able to put together a team that I guess we're kind of set up like a small business. I'd say we have maybe about 40 to 50 people now in all the different areas that a typical small business would have. So it's not like we just have a few developers. We have developer teams and some consulting and outsourced development teams, some internal and some community developers that all contribute towards the software. We have there's a lot of legal things that we need to do. We have an attorney that's part of the team. There's accounting because we have to keep track of all the community funds. So part of what we created when we created ZenCash was the community funds that we could turn around and spend for paying developers, for paying marketing, for paying exchange listing fees, and all sorts of other partnership fees. Some that we have in progress and that are coming up and that are going to be pretty exciting here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I definitely love the good news. And so I would like to ask something like you have recently completed the ZenChat integration. So is it like a mobile app, or is it something you need a specific software for that using that ZenChat?
So I can talk a little bit about ZenChat, but it leads to some of the differences about the zero knowledge proofs and the different types of transactions that we have on ZenCash. So we have the typical Bitcoin type transactions where you see the sender, the receiver, and how much was spent, and that is recorded on the blockchain and everybody can see it. And then we have the shielded addresses and shielded transactions. And those are a new creation, the zero knowledge proofs that was created by the Zcash team, and we able to get the benefit of that. When you send from a shielded address to another shielded address, it's recorded on the blockchain, but nobody sees who sent it, who received it, or the amount. And the interesting thing is, within that shielded transaction, there's also a 512 character message field. So the result of it is, if you have a wallet that can do shielded transactions and messaging, and our Swing wallet can definitely do that, and it's got a whole messaging field, you can send a shielded transaction just at the minimum fee, 0.0001 Zen. All the miners will mine it, and you can include a message. And if you can go back and forth and send messages. Now, it gets sent encrypted over from your wallet to the nodes, and all the secure nodes run encrypted transport. It's stored encrypted on the blockchain as a shielded transaction, and if anybody can reach one of the nodes that has the ZenCash blockchain, they can receive the message. So it's a little bit slow right now because it updates every time there's a new block, which on average is about 2.5 minutes. But you can have slow, extremely secure messaging, and as long as your wallet can reach a node on the ZenCash network, you can get that completely secure. I'm going to say secure, but I'm actually going to define it as private or anonymous. Private.
Okay, so you mean that if I have a secure node, I can basically read any messages of any wallet?
All you need is a wallet. All you need is the Swing wallet, and you can send and receive messages from other people. Now you can do private messages where the sender and receiver know who they are and they talk between you, or you can do anonymous messages. Say you wanted to, say you know a reporter who wants to expose corruption. I don't know. That reporter could post a ZenCash shielded address on his or her website and say, send me tips, send me contributions, I won't know who you are. So you could go to your ZenCash wallet and send to that reporter's shielded address. You could send ZenCash and contribute towards the cause, or you could send very short messages. They're longer than Twitter, 512 character messages. You can even, in those messages, send links to documents that you've published in other places. Okay. So complete anonymous messaging. Nobody would know, that reporter wouldn't know who that message was from.
Okay.
And because we have many secure nodes up and running to keep the blockchain up and running and make sure wallets can connect to the network anytime, people can rely on it. And we're working on domain fronting. So even in countries where they have country level firewalls to block access to different communications, if you have domain fronting working, which is a work in progress, we have a lot of things that we've done. We have a lot of things that are in progress. The domain fronting is to allow people that are behind country level firewalls to be able to access transactions and messaging as well. So by having privacy and availability to money and being able to send funds and send messages, we think it helps people maintain privacy and anonymity and help freedom.
Yeah,
Okay,
great,
so your
great.
whole privacy is maintained over here then. Okay, Rolf, we would like to know about ZenHide, like how it works exactly.
So
Yeah,
Zen,
so I alluded to that. So ZenHide is the name that we use for domain fronting.
Oh,
And it's a rather advanced censorship evasion technique, but basically ZenHide is what's used for people that have wallets that are in countries or in businesses or wherever where they're blocked by firewalls to access. There's places where Bitcoin usage is blocked or
yes,
very
correct.
difficult to get to, right? So we wanted to have a cryptocurrency that people could use, and ZenHide is the short name for the technique that allows people to use wallets that can evade country-level firewalls.
Yeah, Zen itself is a pretty cool name.
You know, people have told us that.
Yeah, got interested in your project first because of your name.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess there are places in the world. Personally, I'm listening to the Bhagavad Gita right now, which I'm finding very valuable. There's great information from many of the traditions from various parts of the world, but I can understand what you're saying.
Okay, so ZenHide basically is like a Tor, or is it like a proxy, or like what is the underlying architecture? Like how does it, how are you planning it to work?
The architecture of the ZenHide?
Yeah.
So the way domain fronting works is it uses HTTPS encapsulation of data. So on the target, we would have a node that's running an HTTPS encapsulation application listening on port 443, the typical SSL port, and then we would have we would use caching. So we were able to do it with Google. Signal was using domain fronting for Google's caching. And when the wallet makes a request, again using HTTPS encapsulation, using domain fronting, it makes a request to a specific URL, and that URL responds, and it seems like an innocuous URL like Amazon or Google or something like that, but in it is a different IP address that can be accessed directly from the wallet. And one of the requirements for that is that the target node has a CA, a certificate authority validated TLS certificate, SSL TLS certificate. So if you have nodes, they have the encapsulation software running, they have TLS certificates that are CA approved, and we have caching service in place. And we have wallets that can do the HTTPS encapsulation and know what the URL of the caching service is. Then you can make domain fronting work. So we're not there yet. However, in the next version of the Swing wallet, for example, there'll be different flags you can set. So you could run the Swing wallet with a flag to have the Zen daemon run with Tor, and Tor has domain fronting capabilities built into it. And we would do the same, so we would do that on the wallet, and we do that on the node side as well.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So basically, I think that all the requirements that you are asking, it matches with secure nodes. So you are telling all the secure nodes will be a platform for domain fronting?
They will have the capability to be a platform for domain fronting. You're exactly right. However, somebody will have to pay for the caching service and then point to a specific secure node. So I'm not sure of the exact way that we're going to do it, but yes, anybody who's running a secure node could also make it into a secure node that can be a target for domain fronting and the ZenHide. So yeah, that's the big picture plan. And we figured that if we were going to have a system that has private and anonymous transactions and messaging and publishing and the ability to have censorship evading, that there would be some perhaps organizations in the world that might not like that, and that they would try to do a denial of service attack against our network, which is why we started having secure nodes in the first place, paying people to keep nodes up and running.
Yeah, it looks like the dividends have increased to more and more secure.
Yeah, and people like to keep the uptime on their nodes, and so it's a good economic model so far, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Rolf. Rolf, I was going through the SuperNode. Like, it seems to be similar as MasterNode. So I want to know, like, whether there is any difference between SuperNode and MasterNode, or it's more like completely the same with a new name.
Yeah, so the Dash master nodes, I think those were a great invention, both from paying the nodes and having the voting done and redirecting some of the Coinbase rewards from the mining. So I think the Evan Duffield and the folks at Dash who created that were very, they looked ahead and have been very benefited from that. We set it up a little bit different. So our secure nodes aren't part of the voting, they're part of the nodes that stay up and running. The super nodes that we have are, like you said, they are similar to master nodes because the Dash master nodes, they run side chains to track which master nodes are up and meeting requirements and decide which ones get paid next, and they handle the payment process of it. So again, a very nice advanced technology. We're going to do something similar regarding side chains, and the side chains are going to track the secure nodes and super nodes and do the payment. So that part is similar. The part that's different is the super nodes are not going to be the only components of the treasury and voting system. So we're going to have a governance and voting system that's different. Now that'll be another aspect that'll be managed by the super nodes. So again, that's similar to Dash. We're going to develop it in our own way. Perhaps our developers will use some of the example or some of the open source code from Dash. I don't know. So it's similar, but it's not an exact copy. We're going to do it our own way with our own twist on it. And then we're going to be able to do additional side chain activity. Dash is going in the direction, and I'm very impressed by what their developers are doing, of username and password management on their master nodes, and I think that's a great idea. We're going in a different direction of doing other types of applications on it, which is what's laid out in the more recent white paper that we have. So different priorities, different ways of doing things, but I think one of the things that's most valuable is that if we have the ability for our internal ZenCash developers to do the sidechain creation, to do the sidechain development, integrate the treasury. We're working with IOHK to design and test the treasury and governance system. So after they design and test that, we'll work with a third-party organization called InfoPulse to get that integrated and programmed into the system. And that'll also, IOHK is also doing a research project for us on scaling, which is to be faster throughput, faster transactions, and the ability to do bigger blockchain. Because one of the things that I say, okay, well, what happens if we become very successful? What happens if a lot of people use ZenCash and all of a sudden there's a lot of transactions on the blockchain and it gets really big, kind of like with Bitcoin? And the shielded transactions that are on the ZenCash blockchain are bigger than the traditional transparent or Bitcoin transactions. So we actually have to think about blockchain growth and scaling and other things like that as we go forward. So by doing side chains, we can take some of the information that would normally get put into the main blockchain, like voting or like payments for the secure nodes and super nodes, and put that off into side chains that information can expire over time, because it's not necessary to keep that for the lifetime of the project, which is hopefully forever.
I was going to ask you about scaling, but it seems like you have answered it. So I just have one more question, like how many transactions as of now ZenCash supports, and how are you planning to scale? Like how many transactions are you going to support? Like is it like a Visa and MasterCard level transaction, or how much? Like I just want a count.
Yeah, so if you take a look at what Bitcoin can do, I think they can do somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 transactions every 10 minutes, and our blocks are on average every 2.5 minutes. So we could probably end up doing that. I think their transaction per second is 7 for Bitcoin. I think ours, if we really pushed it, would probably be, and this is a flat out guess, so I could be wrong, but somewhere about 10 to 15 transactions per second. It's not near the purported Visa limit that nobody's ever seen. However, it's also a work in progress. So as we grow and as our marketing team and as our country ambassadors go out and gain interest in ZenCash and get more and more people using it, we'll have more people that want to buy ZenCash, and that hopefully will make the price go up a little bit, and then we'll have more funds monthly to spend on research and development. So I liken it sometimes to bootstrapping, you know, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. The more successful that we are, the more funds that we have to spend on improvement. And what I'm very happy about is that our team is set up really well. Like Rob and Rosario both have project management backgrounds. Rowan's business development. Gustavo's heading up user experience. And we work together really well as a team. And you hear from the different team members on the biweekly updates. You'll see them in Discord and Telegram. There's different folks that are publishing blog posts. And we go out to conferences, as many as we can, and meet and talk with people. So we approach this from a project management and a small business structure standpoint, where we have responsibilities, and then we ask different groups of people or people to do these responsibilities and work well together. So there's no limiting or gating factor to the type of work that we can do. We've set up in a way that our organization can scale, hopefully as our cryptocurrency is going to scale as well.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, Rolf. So earlier you mentioned about IOHK. So can you tell us, like, what all projects you both are doing apart from what you mentioned now?
Yeah, so those are the two primary projects that we're working with IOHK on. And Rob and I were fortunate to meet with Charles Hoskinson last year at Consensus, where he agreed to be an advisor to the project and has been very helpful over the last year. And as we gained the ability to pay for research contracts, and IOHK is an outstanding organization that works. You know, they do contracts for different organizations. They, I think they were contracted to do Cardano, for example. So those are the two main projects that we're working with them on. Is the Treasury, and there's a number of PhD professors that did an analysis of the Dash Treasury system. They created a Treasury proposal for Ethereum Classic, which IOHK is also involved in. And they're taking both those studies as well as integrating the capabilities that we have for shielded transactions. If we can work shielded transactions into the protocol itself of the voting, that means we'll have a proposal period, then we'll have a voting period, and during the voting period, nobody will be able to see what the votes are. It'll be secret ballots.
Okay.
There'll be no idea of what the votes are until the end of the voting period. So the voting can't be gamed during the voting process. That, and then the second one is the scaling. An early DAG protocol was called Ghost. The one we had looked at next was Spectre, and there's another one, and you can look up the white papers and research from the developers of this. It's called Phantom, and I think we're leaning towards working on with Phantom. But again, that's something that IOHK is researching and testing, because we have time. We're not in a rush. We want to do this the right way. We want to have a plan. We want to do this with experts doing the research and testing, with experts doing the development, and go through proper software development process and rollout and support, because we want, this is a serious project and we want people to use it. And that's really one of the big things about ZenCash. I think we have a really good focus on usability and getting people out to use it. And so partnering with organizations online to actually use ZenCash, partnering for face-to-face transactions, usability and privacy are really big focuses for us.
Yeah, I like the way that you say. I think we are hearing.
Oh, is there an echo coming back a little bit? I'm sorry. I'm going to move my computer out of the way and turn it down. I like having no headset microphone, but it's a directional microphone. Maybe it's not quite as directional as it should be.
Okay, fine. So coming back to the point that you were telling that you are not in a hurry, and I like that part because I am a developer, and as the more quickly we want to complete a project, we end up screwing it. I know the pain. So yeah, and secondly, like I want you to explain something about this ZK-Snarks that you use in your nodes, right? So how does it work? Like I know about zero knowledge protocol, but how do you implement exactly in your secure nodes?
So I'm not a cryptography expert, so I'm going to first answer that way. But the zero-knowledge proofs, they're set up so that if there is an initial creation of information, which ZCash went through and created an initial information that everybody has access to, then the zero-knowledge part means that if most of the computation has to be done when the shielded transaction is created. So if you're actually using like a swing wallet or things like that, and you create a shielded transaction, at this point in time, it takes almost 3 gigs of memory. And for a 64-bit processor, it takes about a minute to do the computation. So the upfront computation on the creation requires a lot of work, and then to be able to read or use your private key to search the blockchain to find shielded transactions that you have the ability to look at, it's a lot less work. Other than that, the best of the ZK-Snark cryptographers work for Zcash. There are other ones in the world, and we're working to hire some of them. But parts of the zero-knowledge proof and ZK-Snark, we leave it to the experts at Zcash to create it, and we just use their work. And thank goodness that it's open source, and we're able to use their work.
Yeah, great. Recently in your new white paper, right, you have mentioned about some zero delay payments, Zen Grid and Zen Exchange. Like, would you like to tell some overview, like what exactly are those things and what are your
future? So in the white paper, we talk about a number of things that we can develop on top of the side chains, and these are longer term projects. So we can talk about distributed apps, for example, or distributed computation. So we say, all right, if we do have 10,000 or 20,000 secure nodes out there, we have the ability to provide services to people that want to have distributed computation services. That's one of the things. We have the ability to actually run a distributed exchange. One of the issues and concerns with running a distributed exchange is getting enough computational power to be able to do transactions quickly. If you look at the ones that are distributed exchanges right now, either they're or decentralized exchanges, excuse me. In some cases, they're centralized in some ways and decentralized in others, but a lot of them, they have an issue scaling. So we could do a decentralized exchange. There are other ideas that we have for other applications on top of that. And in some parts of it, it could seem like we're throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks. I think we might have lost you.
It looks like we had some internet connectivity issues.
Okay, well, I think we're back now.
Yeah, and we completely missed whatever you said about.
Oh no, I stopped as soon as you froze up, so I'm good to go. I'm not even going to be repeating anything.
Okay, fine. Please proceed.
No, so we were talking about the different things on the white paper, and I was saying how it looks like we might be going off in many different directions and trying to bite off more than we can chew, but we definitely have a prioritization to what we're working to do on development projects. And the prioritization is to continue to do the secure nodes and then get the treasury and governance out there as quickly as possible so we can be a more community governed cryptocurrency. Then we have things that we need to do regarding transparency and reporting where all the community funds have been spent. And then after that, we can start using the side chains for the other projects and applications that we've talked about. So we have many different things that we've talked about in that white paper. The second one that just came out regarding supernodes. And it's definitely something that we're going through and doing. It may take years to go through all the different things that we talked about there on the exchange, or I think we might have talked about a stable coin based upon Zen, or all sorts of different things like that.
Okay. So one more interesting question I had. So it seems that we need 42 Zen to set up a secure node. Like why 42? I was really interested to know the reason behind it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different numbers that you can pick. You can pick base 10 numbers. You can pick multiples of 12, which I personally like. But as we were looking at, we actually were looking at how Dash was working with their masternodes and the 1,000 Dash that you need. And we were trying to come up with what we thought the value, dollar or rupee value of Zen might be, and figure out, okay, we want to make sure that people can buy this, that people can acquire enough Zen. And the reason that we set the number so low is we wanted to actually grow our community. So when you first start a cryptocurrency, you actually have to get over the hurdle of getting people to care about you. That's the first basic hurdle. If you can't get people to care about you, you're going to go into a cryptocurrency death spiral. So by having mining is a great way to get a whole bunch of people to care about you. Privacy is another good way to have people care about you. There's people that care about privacy, but there's people that I noticed that were in countries that had high electricity and weren't able to do mining, that didn't have a lot of money, so they couldn't just invest in it. They weren't good traders. They didn't know how to do all the trading, the technical analysis, the head and shoulders, and all the other stuff like that. But they did have access to computers, and they were very technical. They weren't developers. So these are information technology system administrators. So we actually, secure nodes are a tricky way to get a whole large portion of the community to like ZenCash. So by having a low entry fee and having server requirements that are pretty strict, all of a sudden all the information technology system administrators could invest in Zen and be part of it. So we needed to figure something, but we figured it had to be somewhere between 10 and 100 Zen. And I like number 60, but 42 just kind of popped out because I'm a fan of Douglas Adams' book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and of course 42 is the answer to the question.
So that's how the 42 magic number came.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, like right now Zen is affordable, but I don't think the way you guys are growing, this 42 number will be affordable also. But hopefully,
yeah, that was a good point. And I mean, when I originally bought Dash and had Dash masternodes when Dash was $7, $8, and $9 per Dash, and that wasn't that bad. I didn't hold on to all those, but that's okay. But you're right. 42 Zen now, Zen has gone up quite a bit in value compared to regular cryptocurrencies. So I guess that's a good problem to have. I don't know.
Still people are joining this network, and more secure nodes are coming up. It seems that
they are
the main community.
They are, and our secure node tracking and payment system is centralized right now. That's one of the projects that we're working on, is to get it decentralized onto the supernodes. And so we have a very nice application that we run that does the tracking. And every once in a while, somebody does things on secure nodes that gives them extra secure nodes without having to pay for it. So we kind of have ongoing red team testing of our secure node tracking system. So last week, we discovered that somebody had been able to turn up 2,000 secure nodes with only 42 Zen.
I think they should go with super nodes.
Yeah, we added a few extra checks, and the numbers dropped back down to 8,500, and now they're back up to almost 10,000 nodes again. But yeah, it's interesting. This is a very fluid part of the ecosystem.
Okay, so I have one more question. Like, since you are having such a big network of secure nodes and super nodes, so you can go forward by stopping the mining completely, right? Like how the proof of stake works, like a masternode works. Like they don't need mining at all.
Yeah, that's a common question, and it is. I like things, and our team likes things that have shown to work over time. So mining has shown that it works. that Bitcoin shows that mining works, even though there's rapidly accelerating semiconductor process technology, ASIC miners, it still works. There are proof of stake systems that are newer that look like they're going to work long term, but we're not sure yet. Bitcoin has a much longer track record. So proof of work, I think, is very important still to a cryptocurrency. We've added in some staking ability, like you said, with the super nodes and the secure nodes, and that certainly helps. I don't think that in the short term we would change to proof of stake. I think that would be something that would be done by a community proposal and vote over time. As we get the treasury and governance rolled out, more and more aspects of ZenCash are going to be open to change due to different types of voting and proposals and things like that. But we want to make sure we get a system up and running that we know is going to work, and then we can turn it over more towards a decentralized community governance type thing.
Okay. Okay. Mainly you are based on a privacy based, your focus is mainly privacy. Okay. So what if something happens that is not good for our community, or something unwanted things happen because of Zen network? So how are you planning to take responsibility for that kind of things?
I'm not sure I need to take responsibility for it.
Okay.
Just because if you're talking about criminals or people that are doing immoral acts using the transactions or the communications methods or things like that with ZenCash, you know, everybody that has the ability to provide any value of society has to take some, be able to address what if a criminal uses this? What if a criminal uses a car to run down and kill 10 people? Do we ban cars? Do we blame the car manufacturers for that? There's a lot of different things. Now you can say that privacy can lead to people doing illegal things. Unfortunately, we've gotten to the point in our conversation that people do not take privacy for granted anymore. Privacy should be the basic thing that you have, and you should be able to control your own information and decide what information other people have. Our governments have trained us over the last few decades to perhaps not have privacy as our default by using scary news stories, by taking examples of things. I mean, one of the debates that we have here in America is, should people have access to guns? And you know, maybe that's an America-only discussion, but there's some people that say, well, guns can be used to kill people, and there's other people that say, well, guns are an equalizer and they can be used to defend yourself. And if you look at the numbers, many more people use guns to defend themselves than to kill people. And just like many more people use cars to get to work and take their kids to school than they use to kill people. So that, yeah, there can be bad things that happen that people do with ZenCash. You know, that's just part of the deal. I think the benefits that people can have from having a cryptocurrency and messaging that enables privacy and freedom will save more people and allow more people to reach the pinnacle of their existence through their freedom and be able to do things than there will be from bad people doing stuff with ZenCash.
Yeah, hopefully you're true, but the thing which concerns me is like, yeah, definitely Zen has a great infrastructure and secure node platforms and security features. But if government starts coming after ZenCash, so what is the way you are going to proceed forward?
If regulators come after ZenCash?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, like or like the competition, like banks or things like that. So actually, one of the things that I use in my presentation is from Mahatma Gandhi, who says, and I'll probably get this wrong because I'm talking to you right now, but first they ignore us, then they laugh at us, then they attack us, and then we win. And I think all of cryptocurrency is going to go through that. Ignored, and then ridiculed, and then attacked. And attacked can be in many different ways. Attack can be oppressive regulation. Attack can be denial of service attack. Attack can be someone that, I don't know, threatens one of the members of the team of ZenCash. It can be, taking people that use ZenCash and making an example of them. So there's many different ways for it to be attacked. Regulation, I consider excessive regulation to be an attack. So what we started at is a somewhat centralized team of people that are developing ZenCash. The project itself is open source, and we are trying to consciously set things up so no one or two people have the full responsibility for ZenCash. So for example, and heck, I don't even know if any of the big crime syndicates want to get in and own, I watch movies with my 15-year-old son. I was watching The Godfather the other day. So I was thinking about, what if the mafia decided that they wanted in on ZenCash and made me an offer I couldn't refuse? What would I do?
Who knows, after this interview, you just might become popular in mafia sector.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, look, it's a big target, right? So I don't know. And I think that's more likely than regulators, actually. But we've set it up so that if I need to walk away from the project and other people carry it on, no problem. If everybody that's part of ZenCash that's in America no longer needs to be part of the team, we have enough people and enough community that can continue to carry ZenCash forward, hopefully with the existing project. If not, fork it, do a chain split, take all the technology and keep on going. I mean, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's ready to go.
And once the code is out in the open, a lot of duplicate codes can come up easily. So basically, no way to stop it.
Yeah, there's no way to stop it with open source published code. Might need to restart, might need to back up, might need to rebuild a community. But I think the things that we're building and we're demonstrating with ZenCash, with the secure nodes, with the super nodes, with really usable wallets, with the different governance and ideas, I think in our own way, we're contributing back to the cryptocurrency open source and open community group, and those contributions will work their way into other projects as well.
Okay. So are you planning to have some offshore offices like where cryptocurrency is supported?
Say that again?
Like, are you planning to have a different offshore office, like wherever, whichever country they support cryptocurrencies? Are you planning to move into that kind of countries, like have some supporting offices?
Oh, well, we don't actually have any offices right now. We're a virtual organization. Everybody works out of their home, or like I've got my mining business office here. What we do have is in many different countries already, we have ZenCash ambassadors. And these are people that are empowered and they get ZenCash funds to go out and do meetups, to do partnerships with local organizations, to encourage people to use ZenCash. I don't know that we have any ambassadors in India yet, and India is a big country. We could probably use some ZenCash ambassadors that would go out and show people how to use ZenCash. And my belief is that you start a cryptocurrency ecosystem. So part of what we're doing with having secure nodes and mining and ambassadors and paying all the different people who contribute ZenCash is all the funds that get sent into the ZenCash treasury, the community funds, we turn around and spend those. And we try to spend them in ways that people will then turn around and spend ZenCash with other people. So we're trying to generate our own ZenCash cryptocurrency ecosystem where we pay people and we encourage them to turn around and pay other people. If you can get to the point where you're just circulating around the ZenCash and never turning it back into a regular state currency, then you're making a lot of progress.
Yeah. And it will be great to have an ambassador in India, definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, our head of business development, Rowan, he's always talking to new people about becoming ambassadors, and we like for people to have, join our Discord or join our Telegram and learn something about it and then start contributing and then looking at being an ambassador. But there's so many different different meetup groups, and there's so many different YouTube channels. There's so many different podcast groups, and there's conventions to go to. They're exploding all over the world. And our small core team, even though it's 40 to 50 people, doesn't have enough people to fly around and do that. So having ambassadors and people that are empowered, and we pay them in ZenCash for their expenses to go to these different events, that's going to really help us to expand and grow.
Yeah, definitely. And one more thing is that since you're planning to have a decentralized exchange, so converting ZenCash to any other coin will never be a problem in future, I think.
I agree with you. And one of the things that I was very excited about is we just got onto BitShares, which I think is really the premier decentralized exchange right now. And we have a number of different trading pairs. There's no know your customer limitations or sign up with BitShares. Anybody can go sign up to BitShares right away. And so through Open Ledger on BitShares. But yeah, if we're starting to run, when we get to the point where we have our own decentralized exchange, we can do as many trading pairs and as many conversions into as many different currencies as we want. That's a great point.
Yeah, great to know. So would you like to tell why should people get into ZenCash? We had a lot of discussion, and this is the end question, I think.
We would like to ask you, why viewers should go for ZenCash and for mining and all.
Yeah. So as a miner, I like to point my mining machines at cryptocurrencies that I think that have a future. And so ZenCash has an awesome future, and that's why you should get involved in it. ZenCash, it has all the capabilities of privacy, and we have a focus on usability. We translate to all sorts of different languages. We have excellent wallets. We have a great team. We have ambassadors that get all over the place. We have a plan. We have outstanding developers, and and it's important to have developers that can develop your software for you. We've got a great marketing team. We have the complete small business package, that we're a rapidly growing startup organization with a very strong and effective product, definite plans for the future, and we have the proven track record of doing what we say we're going to do. So if we say we're going to do stuff in the future, you can bet that we're going to keep going down the path and doing that.
Definitely.
Okay. So Rolf, so with that, we would like to wrap up the interview session. So it has been really, really great to talk to you today and to, yes, your conversation with our viewers as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. I bet you have some really smart viewers, because these are good questions, and I really enjoy the chance to have a good conversation like this. Hopefully we'll be able to talk in the future. Hopefully your viewers get involved with ZenCash. I think it's great to mine, especially if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. It's super optimized for mining the Equihash protocol. And I'm very excited.
Even we do have an NVIDIA graphics card. Yeah.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's what.
So we are planning to have set up some secure nodes if possible. It's not cheap.
I think that's great. I think the way that you're going to end up needing to have secure nodes and use them is with your own server. So I bought a used server, and I'm running that myself, and I've got my own public IP address. I actually have not had time to set up any secure nodes of my own yet.
Directly go for SuperNodes.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be the most cost-effective way. Although with some of the new changes that reduce the amount of processing power and memory for shielded transactions, VPSs will be good too. So, yeah.
Definitely. I will be going for VPS if possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So both for secure nodes and super nodes, and we'll bump up the amount that we're paying out to those at the end of May when we do the upgrade to ZenCash.
Okay. So anyways, best of luck and great wishes to your team.
Yeah, and all the best.
You just keep adding new projects and completing it, and be the best coin in the world.
Yeah, and
thank you.
Projects as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you. Yeah, bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.